What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JBsports back again with another one. ESPN.com boxing columnist Michael Coppinger, aka Michael Cappinger, is at it again. This wasn't even on his Twitter, so I'm going by a reliable source, a guy that has credibility in boxing. He's a UK boxing columnist, Michael Benson. On his Twitter, he's saying that Michael Coppinger is reporting that unified welterweight champion who holds titles in the WBC, WBA, and IBF, Errol Spence Jr., has agreed to a purse split with WBO welterweight champion Spence-Crawford. They have been talking directly to each other on the phone, and they have agreed to a purse split. But the first order of business is Errol Spence Jr. must defeat Keith Thurman, and Spence-Crawford must defeat Alex Rocha. If both fighters are successful, the fight will take place in the latter part of 2023, according to Michael Cappinger. Now, I will believe this is the case, maybe, if Errol Spence Jr. versus Keith Thurman is at 147, not at 154, which is being reported in several different credible boxing outlets. They're saying that Errol Spence Jr. is going to fight Keith Thurman at 154 because he don't want to give Keith Thurman a chance to fight for his 3 belts, because Keith Thurman did not give him the opportunity when he was a young contender coming up. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But take this article or check this report with a grain of salt, because we've been down this road before, and it's been like the boys and men, end of the road, to the end of the road, but I can't let go. It's been the end of the road because it ain't been no fight. Been going down a dead end. 3 or 4 different times this fight has been reported to be pretty much a done deal, and then falls apart. So we will see. We will see what happens, and we will see what transpires, but I don't believe it. Hopefully it's true, but I've been down this road too many times. I'm not going to get my hopes up. I don't think this fight is actually close to coming to fruition. Number one, Spence-Crawford is fighting Alexis Rocha. Now, if he signs a deal with Golden Boy Promotions, I think his next fight after Alex Rocha will be Virgil Ortiz Jr. Now, Oscar De La Hoya came out not too long ago and said that, look, we're looking to sign Spence-Crawford, and the ultimate goal is to make the mega fight that the boxing fans have been wanting for the last 3 years, and that is Spence-Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. So that sounds good, and hopefully it does come to fruition. And a lot of people were saying that the reason why this fight did not happen is because Spence-Crawford did not have any representation. He didn't have anybody on his side that was willing to put up half the money. It was a Lone Ranger going on with the PBC. They was going to have to put up all the money. They was going to have to take all the risk. And that was one of the reasons why they did not offer a guarantee for that fight. But there was other examples of fighters not getting guarantees. And the PBC model is, if you do get a guarantee, it's going to be a low guarantee. The majority of your money that you're going to make is going to be on the back end of the pay-per-view split. Spence-Crawford, as we know, likes his money up front. He believes in the old saying, a bird in the hand beats 2 in the bush. He don't want to chance it, especially with all this illegal streaming going on. You know, it has hurt the pay-per-view market here in the last several years, and he don't want to take that chance. You look at what he was getting from Top Rank, fighting on ESPN, he was getting at least $3 million per fight, no matter who he was fighting. He was guaranteed to get $3 million. He don't want to take a fight where he's not guaranteed any money, and he's relying on a pay-per-view percentage. But I think the thing that he probably was not realizing is he was going to get a percentage of the net revenue, not just the revenue that we projected. The net revenue, whatever the final numbers is, you was going to get 35-40% of that. I don't think he was taking that into account, or maybe he was taking that into an account. He just didn't want to chance it. Without that being said, Michael Coppinger is reporting that Spence-Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. essentially have a deal, and that they're both gonna take interim fights. If they're both successful, the fight would happen definitely in the latter part of 2023. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. I don't believe it. Michael Coppinger has burned me before. He's a guy that likes to throw things against the wall and see what sticks. He don't mind taking a hit in his credibility, because he's taken several hits in his credibility, because he's come out with a lot of false information in regards to this fight that's been percolating all the way from last year to this year. Actually, the last 3 years, but really got heated last year when a lot of people thought that was going to happen after Errol Spence Jr. defeated Yordenis Ugas. A lot of people were speculating this fight was going to take place in 2022. It did not happen. And in my opinion, the reason why it didn't happen was because Spence-Crawford did not want to take the fight for no guarantee. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But I believe a little bit more if Errol Spence Jr. fights Keith Thurman at 147. If he's fighting him at 154, the fight's not happening. Why would he go up to 154 and have to go back down to 147 and possibly not be the best version of himself, fighting a guy of the skill set of a Terence Crawford? Terence Crawford will have the advantage. He'll be a more active fighter here recently, and then he'll be making Errol Spence Jr. come down to 147. Maybe Errol Spence Jr. wants to fight that bad, he'd be willing to do that. You know, stick it to Keith Thurman and then go down and fight Terence Crawford. Maybe he'd be willing to do that. I don't think that's the best course of action. I think he should fight Keith Thurman at 147, especially if he's going to fight Terence Crawford later on that year. Defend your belts at 147 and then fight Terence Crawford for all the marbles. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Hopefully Oscar De La Hoya and the PBC come to a deal. They came to a deal with Gervonta Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia, so that's a good starting point. Maybe they can come to an agreement for the second biggest fight in boxing, Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Follow me on Facebook, Gerard.Briscoe.3551. Like, share, and subscribe to JB Sports. The man, the myth, the legend. And I holla.